Hello, welcome to Zigmatech Consult Limited Learning Hub. So today I'll be your tutor for the subject Geography. And in today's lesson, we'll be looking at the Earth and other planets in our solar system. So, for our objectives of the lesson today, we are going to consider the various components of the solar system and also be looking at the properties of the satellite planets we have in our solar system. But before we look at the planets of the solar system, let's just take a look at the solar system. Now, the solar system is actually a collection of planets, of moons, also of asteroids, comets, dust, and other celestial bodies we have right in space. And our planet, which is our solar system, which is just one of the billions of solar systems we have in the nebula, is actually centered, is actually around the sun, and the sun is the main source of light and the main source of energy in this solar system. That means that we have we have billions of solar systems out there. So in our solar system, we have the major planets and we have the dwarf planets. So the major planet includes planets Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Neptune, Jupiter, and Uranus. While we also have the dwarf planets as Eris, as Pluto, as Haumea, as Mach. So let's take a look at how the solar system looks like. As you can see, like I said, the sun is the major object we have in our solar system. It's the source of all energy and is the source of light in our solar system. And we have planets like the Mercury, the Venus, the Earth, and the Mars. And before we get to planets like Jupiter, Saturn, or Uranus, or Neptune, or Pluto, we have the asteroid belt. And after Pluto, we have the Kuiper belt. So these celestial objects, or these planets, they are actually the planets we have in our solar system. So let's take a look at it. Now, if you look at the left, we have the satellite planets, which are the major planets, and to my right, we have what we call the dwarf planets. Now, a planet is said to be called a dwarf planet if it does not have a total dominance on its orbit, or we can say if it's unable to clear the orbital path. So, for the satellite planets, we have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Pluto is considered a dwarf planet. Now, for the satellite planets, they are actually divided into the terrestrial planets and the Jovian planets. The terrestrial planets are the planets with rocky surfaces, like the Mercury, like the Venus, like the Earth and Mars. While the Jovian planets are planets without rocky surfaces, which include planets Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Now, for the dwarf planets, we have the Ceres, we have the Pluto, we have the Mach, and we have the Haumea, and we have the Eris. The Ceres is located in the asteroid belt, while the other four dwarf planets are found in the Kuiper belt. So let's just take a look at the sun and the satellite planets. But before we look at the satellite planets, let's look at the chief object in our solar system, which is the sun. Now, the sun is actually made up of gases like hydrogen, like helium, and also it contains metals such as what? Iron. So the sun contains about 70% of hydrogen, 28% of helium, and 2% of metals. And the surface of the sun is over 5,000 degrees. And at the core of the sun, the temperature gets to 15.6 million degrees Celsius. Now, the sun in terms of diameter is about 1.39 million kilometers wide in diameter, and the sun is considered the chief source of energy in our solar system. And also, the sun is one of the largest stars we have in our galaxy. Like I said previously, we have billions of stars in our galaxy, and the sun is one of them. So let's look at the first planet we have in our solar system, the first satellite planet to be precise. Now, the first planet is called Mercury. Now, Mercury is actually the smallest and the second hottest planet, despite the fact that it is close to the sun. Now, in Mercury, revolution takes about 88 Earth days. That means for Mercury to go around the sun, it will take what? 88 days to move around the sun, which means that it has the shortest orbit. And in terms of diameter, Mercury is about 4,800 kilometers wide in diameter. And the distance from the sun, distance of Mercury from the sun is about 57.6 million kilometers. So let's look at the second planet. The second planet is called Venus. Now, Venus is actually the hottest planet in the solar system. Now, this is as a result of the greenhouse gases present in its atmosphere. And the planet Venus is regarded as the Earth's twin because it's approximately equal to the Earth in diameter and in density. So the diameter of Venus is 12,300 kilometers, and it takes about 225 Earth days to go around the sun. But meanwhile, the planet Venus has a longer day and a shorter year. That's to say that for rotation or for a complete day in Venus, we have 243 Earth days, while for a revolution, which is a complete year, we have 225 Earth days. And the distance of Venus from the sun is 107.2 million kilometers. So we move to the next planet, which is our dear planet called planet Earth. Now, our planet is the only planet that supports life. That means it supports the growth of plants and the growth of what? Of animals. And it has just one satellite. The first planet, Mercury, has no satellite. The second planet, Venus, has no satellite. But Earth has just one natural satellite and is 12,762 kilometers wide in diameter. And for Earth, a revolution takes about 365/1/4 days, while rotation lasts just for 24 hours. And the distance of our Earth from the sun is 148.8 kilometers. And the distance of the Earth from its satellite, which is the moon, is 384,629 kilometers. So we go to the fourth terrestrial planet, which is called planet Mars. Now, planet Mars is seen after planet Earth before we get to the asteroid belt. Now, people believe that life can actually exist in planet Mars. So it's seen as the second planet that can actually support life. And revolution takes about 687 Earth days, and it has two natural satellites. Mars has a diameter of 6,790 kilometers, and it's 227.2 million kilometers away from the sun. So, before you get to the next planet, we go past the asteroid belt, and we get to the next planet, which is called planet Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is one of the Jovian planets. Jovian planet, like I said, they don't have a rocky surface, meaning that you cannot land on such planets. They are basically filled with gases, or they are filled with ice. So Jupiter and Saturn are referred to as gas giants, while Neptune and Uranus are called the ice giants. Now, Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system, And the surface of Jupiter contains gases like hydrogen, like methane, and it has dark and light bands all over it. Now, Jupiter has 12 satellites. That's to say it has 12 moons, and it is 772.8 kilometers away from the Sun. Now, in terms of diameter, Jupiter has a diameter of 142,100 kilometers, and for a complete revolution around the Sun, Jupiter takes about 111.9 Earth years to go round the Sun. So we go to the next planet, which is called planet Saturn. Now, planet Saturn is the second Jovian planet we have in our solar system, and it's also the second largest planet in our solar system. It's composed of 3 rings surrounding it, and the width of these rings is actually equivalent to the distance between the Earth and the Moon, and it has 9 satellites. Now, the planet Saturn is 1.4176 billion kilometers away from the Sun, and it has a diameter of about 109,700 kilometers. For planet Saturn to go around the Sun, it takes about 29.5 Earth years. So, for a complete revolution in the planet Saturn, we are going to spend 29 years, 29 and a half years to be precise. So let's look at the second planet called Uranus. Now, Uranus is kind of like a weird planet because it's the only planet that rotates on its sides. And mind you, all planets travel around the Sun in anti-clockwise direction except Uranus and Venus. That's to say that when other planets are going anti-clockwise, Uranus and Venus will travel in a clockwise direction from east to west. And Uranus rotates on its sides. The planet Uranus has 5 satellites, and it's about 2.85 billion kilometers away from the Sun. That's to say that planets like Uranus are very cold. They are composed of ice, and the diameter of this planet is about 51,000 kilometers wide. So for the planet Saturn to go around the Sun, it takes about 84 Earth years. Now let's look at the next planet, which is called planet Neptune. Now, planet Neptune is the planet that is the satellite planet that is farthest away from the Sun, and is the coldest amongst the 8 planets we have. It has just 2 satellites and is 4.468 billion kilometers away from the Sun. Now, in terms of diameter, planet Neptune is 45,000 kilometers wide, and for the planet to go around the Sun, it takes about 164.8 Earth years. So that means on Earth here, we will exhaust 164 years for the planet Neptune to go round the Sun. So let's look at the only satellite of the Earth, which is called the Moon. Now, like I said, the Moon is the Earth has only one satellite, which is the Moon, and the Moon is not a luminous object, meaning that the Moon depends on the Sun for its light, or we say it is illuminated by by the Sun. And when the Moon is actually illuminated by the Sun, it gets to a maximum temperature of 120 degrees Celsius, and when not illuminated, that is at the coldest level, the temperature can actually drop to minus 180 degrees Celsius when it's not heated. Now, for rotation, or let me say revolution, the Moon goes around the Earth in 28 days. So it takes the Moon actually 28 days approximately to move around the Earth. And the diameter of the Moon is 3,500 kilometers. That's to say that the Moon is 1/4 in terms of diameter and size when compared to planet Earth. And the Moon is 384,000 kilometers away from the Earth. So we've looked at the solar system, like I said, is composed of the sun, the planets, and other celestial bodies. And we've looked at the properties of these planets at a time. And like I said, we have what? We have the terrestrial planets, which is the planet Mars, the planet Venus, Earth, and Mercury. And we have the Jovian planets, which is the Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus. And we also have dwarf planets, which are not counted among the 8 planets. And we looked at planets Pluto, Makemake, Eris, and Ceres. So with that, we've come to the end of the lesson for today, but you can quickly refer to the exam guide to get questions on the solar system, questions that pertain to the 8 planets, and questions that pertain to the sun and the solar system in general. So with that, we've come to the end of the lesson for today. Thank you for viewing.